Hey, what's up, you guys? Another reaction I wanted to do real quick, which is because it's relevant to a lot of the controversy I've caused online. If you guys don't know, I recently went very viral for stating over the picture of Sydney Sweeney that all women are catfishes. The the question is to what extent? And we're not gonna get into that because I think I already did a video on that. But today I just want to react to a video that I found that the algorithm pushed up to me, and it was a certain more conservative content creator, very popular, very lovely Jedediah Bila, and she had a whole segment on her show. I don't know if it's a whole show, but I found a 6-minute segment about women and catfishing, right? And obviously I got my post demonetized, and it got flagged for hateful conduct because they threw kind of like the literary book at me, where it's like, hey, catfish means that the person is a completely different identity, meaning like if they say they're a 24-year-old blonde girl, they show up as a 50-year-old black woman or black man or whatever, right? Like the show Catfish. But the truth is, in colloquial terms, I'll say this and I'll keep saying this, everyone uses that word to denote, hey, I got fooled by somebody when I went on a date thinking they were more attractive or looked differently than they were in than they look in real life. So let's get right into it. Let me present this right here. Share screen. We're gonna share top audio. Um, Hope your viral team made it to the video. Oh no, this is an older video, guys. So this is older. So this is like a year ago, right? So this has been going on for a while. Um, and This catfishing thing is like it's normalized. Like no men are just taking this as part of the game. They're not really complaining much, right? I'm bringing light to it because I am a dating content creator, and this is a part of the dating process, which is you're getting fooled by women and presenting themselves as more attractive than they are, right? And we can't control women, we can't shame women, right? But we can develop strategies or at least awareness to a certain part of dating, which is vetting a date in order so you don't have to drive 20 minutes out to meet somebody you're not sure how they even look like. And she doesn't have to drive 20 minutes and sit in front of you and waste her time either, right? And so let's dive right in. So,
This image pops up. Del, you have that one?
oh, and let me know if you guys can hear it.
Number 2. Well, look what we have here. Women, men are such liars. And then this is the photo. Now, this is the same girl. That's her on the right, you see. And I'm not here to pick on her, by the way. Attractive girl regardless, in my view, right? But on the right, you see, she looks like a regular girl. She looks like an average girl. She's youthful, yes. But, she's got her skin's got some breakouts, which happens. Hormones are what they are. She doesn't look like a mannequin. She looks like a regular girl. And then she's done something to herself.
Guys, realize that that's really the insult here. The insult isn't ugly, that we're calling them ugly. That's not what we're saying here. The insult is that we're saying they're regular. And if there's anything women don't want to be called, is regular, right? Because if you call them hot, whatever, it's more attention for them, right? If we call them ugly, that just gives them their indignation fix. And also they can just say, hey, like um you're just insecure, right? And then they can get their army of white knights and other females to come defend them, right? That's why whenever I say, hey, all women are catfishes, meaning all women to a certain extent lie about their appearance online, right? Um, they immediately try to say, oh, you're calling them ugly or unattractive, right? They're trying to frame it as you're calling me ugly so they can either play the victim, get their indignation fix, or galvanize their white knight army to defend them so they can feel loved, appreciated online by strangers, right? That is the way it works. Let's continue.
To turn into that person that you see on the left. Now, I don't know what happened here. I'm sure some of it's makeup. They can do some weird stuff with contouring and with makeup. You'd be surprised. I've seen some magicians' work going on there. People make their noses smaller.
I think the contouring is something that it got more popularized or women got better during the pandemic. It never used to be a thing. I never used to see women doing contouring, and then you would see these like viral videos where very unattractive women, like objectively unattractive, haggish women, right, would, you know, for to go viral would transform their face and look like, pretty attractive. Right, and these women, they were, like, missing teeth, and they were, just genuinely unattractive, and I'm not trying to be mean, but let's be real here, that's the point of the video, taking an unattractive woman and making them into a passable, almost beautiful woman, right? Hold on, there we go.
I mean, it's you guys, you don't even know. There could be some surgery that's happened between those two photos. She definitely got her hair dyed. There could be some stuff going on that's surgical. There could be some enhancements, Botox, filler, whatever it may be. But the reality, or it could just be Photoshop, right? Or it could just be filtered and Photoshopped. Who knows? But the reality is that we live in a visual world. And
The truth is it's all of them, right? Right now, Facetune are apps that modify women's faces and bodies, right? That's the second most downloaded apps for women, for women. Those type of apps. The first one is a period tracker, right? And number two, is, hey, apps that change how you look. Plus, they have the makeup, and filters and all that stuff, right? So often you go on a date with a girl, and more often than not in my dating life, I've had to do double takes or squint really hard and be like, oh yeah, it's the same eyes as the girl that I saw on a dating app and all that stuff. So
men are very visual beings. And women are lying all the time about their appearances. And they're getting their DMs and their dating apps and their OnlyFans and all this stuff flooded. In the meantime, they are enhanced in many respects. And I'm not just talking about surgery here. There's that layer. There's that layer of where, like, women go in for Botox, like it's just a routine dental cleaning now.
yeah, so back in the day, Botox used to be a big deal. You used to have to plan it out and all that stuff. Now, I have a female friend who gets Botox all the time. Like it's like almost like a nail appointment, right? Obviously, it's just a little bit more um, commitment than maybe you're getting your hair done or a nail appointment, but it's definitely cheaper and it's very popular here in Dallas. And it's something that is just not a big deal for women.
Toxic, nasty, but they do it because they're in a panic. Oftentimes, by the way, women doing that are in a panic because they're hitting the wall and now they got to compete with younger women. And they're like, what do I do? What do I do? So what do? They freeze their face and then they just look creepy, right? They don't look more youthful. They look weird. And then guys are like, how come she has no expression? Is she dead inside? Sometimes. So there's that. And then there's also the manipulation of maybe there's women that aren't doing the surgery, but they're doing the makeup, the hair extensions. Now you see what women are doing with the eyebrows, guys. They're doing that stuff with the eyebrows where they do the microblading. They like this fake hair. It's not hair. It's drawn on in some weird type of tattoo.
You talk to any woman right now, a lot of this stuff, even for me, is news. I don't even know some of the things that women do to their bodies or to their face. We as guys, we only think, hey, nose jobs and um, BBLs, boob jobs, and all that stuff, right? But if you really look at all the types of facial surgeries, there's a lot, right? There's the cheek fillers, which just found out like last year. There's the things that get rid of the bags under the eyes. There's things that lift your eyes like this to make them look more, I guess, uh, Asian looking or something. Like she's talking about the eyebrows, the buccal fat removal. I don't know if I'm saying that right, which is very popular for celebrities and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Women are definitely going for broke. They are definitely trying to maximize their appearance and all that stuff.
Not for me. Also chemicals involved. Amazing how much stuff is toxic that women do. And then they wonder, I feel sick. I got autoimmune, blah, blah, blah. Honey, what did you do this month? Botox, fillers, maybe some dye in your eyebrow, some weird stuff, eyelash extensions. What's that glue made of? Did you look and did you ask that it's going into your eye all the time? Don't get me started. Anyway, the manipulation that happens is prevalent. Women lie all the time. Story for you. I had a friend a few years back. Man alive. He met a girl on I don't know if it was a dating app. I don't think it was a dating app, actually. I think it was Instagram now that I recall.
which is the new the
Whole
world's
page flooded with
biggest dating
photos.
app right
Very
now.
pretty. He showed it to me. What do you think this girl? He's a family friend, a husband and I, friend of both my husband and I. We're looking. We're like, oh yeah, looks attractive girl. You should try and give it a shot. Nothing too crazy, sexy, whatever, but attractive girl. Okay. He goes. He sat in the restaurant he goes to a coffee house, meet her. He sat in that coffee house for I don't know how long, and he's waiting for her. He's like, where is she? He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. Nobody's coming. She was there. The girl was there at a table in front of him, but she looked so drastically different from the photo that he saw on Instagram that he didn't know it was
Wow.
her.
Yeah, I just said this, right? This is like the first I saw the first 30 seconds of this video, but I just said it earlier. Like there are times where I have gone on a date and I've had to look around and do scan the coffee shop or the wine bar or wherever like 3 times in order to find the girl. And then I see her and I'm like, oh, that's her. Right. Um, and it's very interesting that a lot of men were going through the same thing, but since we're so atomized and isolated from each other in our walks of life, right? That we haven't been able to trade notes on this matter. We're constantly like, hey, um, this is just a me thing or I got fooled. But the reality is all men, we're all getting catfished. People that date, right? Unless you're very good at or very skeptical about women's online presence, then we're all in the same boat, more or less.
And guess what? He wasn't too happy with what he saw because that girl that was sitting in front of him was a little chunk.
Yeah.
She was all, doing something on Instagram. Maybe she was positioning her body this way or that way. It looked nice. In person, it was a little chunk. There was a lot going on facially that I guess on Instagram and via filters looked okay. But when you saw it in person, she looked kind of like an odd wax figure. And it just wasn't the same girl. It wasn't even remotely the same.
And that's the thing, guys. They think a lot of women think it's because we have these astronomical standards about women and all that stuff. But the thing is, we just don't want to be fooled, and that's ultimately what they don't understand or don't want to understand is that I matched you because I thought you were this level of attractiveness, or you had something about you, like maybe you have a cute smile, or maybe we were the same skin. Like honestly, obviously I'm dating Hannah now, right? But there was a time where I'm like, I need to date a girl that's as brown as like my skin color because I just thought that this skin color was attractive on women, right? That was just my thing. And then I would go on dates and women would be much darker than me, right? Much darker because they use filters to make their skin lighter, right? Because light skin, especially in Latin American countries and even African American communities, is seen as less attract or more attractive, right? It's sad. I mean, obviously, there's probably really dark, beautiful women out there, but that's just the way it is, right? And also, it's just like I wanted a woman back then with my skin color, and I would get fooled, right? And um that's crazy. That's one of the things that as a guy most guys don't really have an attraction for, right? As you get older, you kind of like don't have the time to deal with women that aren't attractive enough to be dealing with, right? Because your time and energy are like not you're not as generous as your time with your time and energy as you were before. But at the same time, um, most guys, if you just present yourself in a normal way, we do 99% of men expect you to use some level of makeup and try to look your best for your photos, right? And that's the thing that they think that they're in that cohort of women where, hey, I'm presenting myself in a normal way. Like this is normal. And I'm like, no, like normal was like 10 years ago where women would kind of put their hand on their hip to hide that extra 15, 10 pounds to look prettier. But nowadays it's like completely everything's face tuned. The makeup, the contour. I didn't even know what contour was till like 3 years ago. Apparently now every woman's using it. Right. Women are trying to use optical illusions, all these things in order to get them more power in the dating marketplace. And if when you have to like date these women, you're going to be the one that has to like face the consequences, right? And that's the thing here. If we as men didn't have to deal with this, right, then we wouldn't care, right? If women would collectively take pictures of themselves and say, hey, this is what I look like without makeup, or this is what I look like with light makeup, like makeup to go to work or makeup to, meet up with friends or something like that. But no, this is me all the time. And you'd be hard pressed to find women that natural looking women online these days, right? You have to dig, you have to find beach pictures. You have to find um, LinkedIn profiles, right? Those are strategies that guys use to find women looking normal, not ugly, because we understand that people don't look their best all the time. Like if I wake up next to you in the morning, I don't expect you to look like when you first showed up to the date. I don't no sane, rational guy, right? But when it's a completely different person showing up to the date than when you're from the Instagram profiles, right? And guys, we're the ones that get to choose whether it's a catfish or not, right? And that's another thing that enrages them. Then it's a problem, right? Because I'm paying for the date, I plan the date. Now, if a girl invited me out and planned the date herself and did all the logistics and I just had to show up and I get a free meal or free drinks, then I wouldn't be as mad. I'd be like, well, she's not like her pictures, but hey, I'm getting free stuff. But the issue is as long as men are paying and planning the date, which will probably be forever, right? Um, they will own the definition of what a catfish is to them or not. Right. And that will be forever. So
Girl. Guys don't do this stuff, right? They don't do this stuff on Instagram. That's weird. Women are doing this because they're constantly trying to compete with other women for attention in that space. They're like, well, this woman's got 50 half naked pictures. I got to have 60 and I got to be more naked than that. I'm going to show a little bit of it. I'm going to do that, Oh, this one? Oh, now everybody's got the Kardashian face, right? I saw somebody talking about this the other day in the Manosphere space. I forget who it was. Somebody said, I don't know who it was. Man, I wish I could remember. Everybody's got the Kardashian. It could have been Michael Sartain. I'm not 100% sure. Everybody's got the Kardashian face, the Kardashian. Yeah. You're looking at like the same face. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, Kim Kardashian. She's so popular. Let me get that face. Trying to do it with the makeup. Maybe they go in, surgery. Oh, can you do something? So don't tell me women don't lie. They lie all the time about different things. I'm not saying men are, saints. Yeah, we know there are men who lie. But we live in a society now where everyone's comfortable saying there are men who lie, but you're not allowed to say women lie or you're labeled a misogynist. Women lie. They lie about their appearance. And what happens? Let me ask you as a man, let's put that picture up again, Deli. Can we just put that up for a second? Let's say, let's say it was makeup. It's not just makeup. I'll tell you that straight up. But let's say it was just makeup and she managed to transform herself and you go out to the club and you're hanging out with that girl on the left. And then she goes, takes a shower and comes out and you see that girl on the right. You don't feel tricked, honey.
yeah, that's the thing.
I would feel so tricked. I would feel so.
It's basically like a humiliation ritual for guys, right? Because we already have to deal with a lot of things, and getting us out doing dating, right? Especially when you're starting out, will feel like a humiliation ritual. You're getting rejected a lot. You're making a lot of mistakes. You really want to quit. You're thinking like, why am I here? What's the point of this, right? Until you get better, understand women better, then you start kind of like being intelligent, smart, and being more judicious with who you go out with, where you go out with, and you start maximizing logistics and all that. But at first, it's like a humiliation ritual, right? It makes you feel like the only type of woman you can get are a certain level of attractiveness, and that you've been fooled, right? And that can hurt. That hurts for some. That hurts because um, as men, we want to like women, especially women that are on a date with us, right? And when we're finally, as men, we're maturing and we're just like, all right, we're more accepting of women's behavior. We grow up, we move on, right? You realize that, hey, women are just, there's an ongoing battle in the dating market where women are playing for broke. They're being very deceptive, right? And it's forcing you as a guy to fight fire with fire. So you have to be deceptive. And a lot of guys don't want to be that. They don't want to be Machiavellian, but you have to now, right? You have to be incredibly selfish. You have to be incredibly Machiavellian sometimes. Not break the law, right? But you have to be Machiavellian to the point where you start realizing you're being rewarded for being a bad person to women. And it's not even about game, it's about generally being a bad person. And I've been rewarded handsomely for being really bad, for being a douchebag to women. Like there have been women that like that one chick that doxed me here on the Are We Dating the Same Guy Dallas page. She I basically ghosted her, right? Obviously I had my reasons, right? But I basically ghosted her and I went with someone else and I bragged about it online. and she found the post on Twitter, and then she doxed me on that page. I was at the top of the page for 10 weeks. The ladies loved me, guys. The ladies were loving it, right? Um, but the truth is, uh, I got handsomely rewarded, right? She made a TikTok about me. She posted about me, which means more women were seeing me on this page, which means now when they found my dating profile, they were like, "Oh, that's him," and they had no choice but to swipe right? And then she came back later on in my life, and we hooked up again. And until very recently, she was in my DMs, like trying to grab my attention. Obviously, I'm her friend now, and I kind of, I don't think she's all the way here, right? But I mean, and she's a good person, right? She is a good person. The thing is that she rewarded me handsomely for being a douchebag.
I'd be like, you have to leave. There's an imposter in my house. There is an imposter in the bed, and I can't have it. Why not just be yourself, women? God.
And here, see, like, I like Jedediah, but here's the part where a lot of conservative people kind of, the eternal problem conservative people have is that they are naive. They don't follow human incentives very well. They see the world through the lens of morality and what people should do, and and everything is like through a moral filter, right? And again, like I always say, especially to the guys that are conservative or religious or anything like that, is that there is no morality in dating, right? You have to have the stance that people in the dating market are trying to get everything and give nothing back, right? So if a woman is lying about her appearance, right? Um, and she shows up and she looks much less attractive than what you expected, right? And you make a bid to all women and say, "Hey, ladies, stop doing the thing that gets you free dates, that gets you free attention, that gets you everything you want in life. Stop lying about your appearance." Does that make sense at all? No. Instead, understand her incentive. Understand that she has an immense pressure and temptation to lie because they get handsomely rewarded, right? So instead of being like, "Hey, uh, it's not fair," you say, "Hey, all women are catfishes," meaning women all lie about their appearance, right? Safe, it works. It's a great mental model, right? And from there, then we can start discussing to what extent, right? Instead of these guys that are just like, how could you say this girl's ugly? I'm like, listen, man, you're not dating, or you've been married for 30 years or whatever. But I've been on plenty of dates, and I can tell you right now, very, very few of them look just as pretty in their picture. I can count on one hand the amount of, maybe half of a hand, right? The amount of women that I've met that I'm like, wow, they're more attractive in person, right? And the thing is, it's not bad that they're not perfect, right? My ex showed up years ago in 2021 with a little bit more weight than I thought around her midsection, right? She still had thin arms and thin legs, right? But her little midsection was like, 20 pounds more, right? Because she was wearing a tight dress, and I saw a pooch, right? Whatever they call it. But because she showed up in a dress and she smelled well and her hair was done and she was invested and she made me laugh and she was a good person. And then we went to a second venue, and then we got to first base that night, and then we went on 3 more dates, and then I sealed the deal on the third date, and then we dated for 6 to 8 months. I forgot. Um, I overlooked completely the little extra weight. Right. Obviously, as we were going into a relationship, I said, "Hey, you got to eat healthier, right, or whatever, blah blah." But the thing is, women really are scared that women don't understand really that the things that make their online white knights and gooners and coomers and whatever like their picture is not the same thing that will get a regular guy you find hot on a date to like you. It's like two different things, right? I went on a couple dates with an OnlyFans girl. I found out she was OnlyFans girl on the second date. She wasn't that attractive, right? She was just one of those, 5 out of 10 girls, whatever. But she would not want to share her OnlyFans pictures with me. She was shy. She's like, "I don't like sharing that with guys that I'm dating." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "I've already seen you naked. Like, I don't get it." Like, and that's the thing there, right? Because she knew in her mind the stuff that her Coomer followers would like is not the same things that a guy like me would like, right? With me, she would send me midday selfies, and she wouldn't even send me nudes. She would just be like, "Why? I'm already like you've already seen me naked, right?" And I didn't ask for them, but in case, she's like, "Don't ask me for nudes. I'm not into that." But even though she was doing that, right? And that's the weird thing about women, right? And I think they innately know that the makeup, the surgeries, all that stuff does not appeal to the men they really like. Yes, it gets my attention, right? Like I go to salsa night and I see one or two women with BBLs, right? And the other night I went to my normal Friday night salsa spot, and there's some ladies that obviously we've been dancing or touching each other for a year, and then women can kind of get a little bit they get a little bit comfortable, right? Because a lot of lonely women go there, and yeah, they know I'm in a relationship now, but they get comfortable, and who could blame them, right? If you're an attractive guy, you can't blame women for slipping up and saying things to you, right? So this woman comes up to me. We're just talking, dancing. I'm like, just trying to cheer her up. The lonely woman at salsa night, try to be the light of the party, and say, hey, like it's the last dance night of the year I'm gonna be at. What about you? How's life? And I told her, hey, you need to drink more. You need to party more. You've worked so hard, which is music to women's ears, single mothers, hardworking single mothers' ears, right? And she's like, yeah. And then for some reason in the conversation, she's like, oh, by the way, this isn't a BBL. This is real, right? I'm like, okay. Where did that come from? She said the boobs are fake, but my butt is real because I'm like half Cuban or half Puerto Rican, so I got it from that side or whatever. And I'm like, okay, right? And that's another example that women understand that the BBL, all that, the makeup, all that stuff is for her online gooners, simps, and followers and white knights for them to drool over. But the guys that she's attracted to, like, she knows what they are, and it's usually not. It doesn't overlap that much, right? So understand incentives, understand why they do the things. It's not for you, right? It's not for you as a guy. It never will be, right? When women find a guy that they like, they turn from um their looks and start trying to act better. They're more available. They do more things that you like in bed in the bedroom, right? Um, They act nicer around you. They know they get on their best behavior, right? They know that as a guy that you're not gonna be swayed as easily by a pair of fake titties, even though, a lot of us are fake titty fans. I kid you not, some of them look great. But the thing is, understand this difference. Understand women's incentive as to why they do this catfish stuff, right? And you will have a better dating life because ultimately, when you look at the world through morality, like, hey, men should, this isn't right. You're going to be constantly annoyed, pissed off, frustrated. You're going to give up and you're going to be a black pill doomer and preach to all of Twitter or YouTube, whatever, how bad women are. When in reality, it's not that women are bad, it's that they're acting to their incentives. So act on yours. That's it. Be selfish and act on yours. And then you'll realize, like, you'll have this amused mastery out of nowhere, like when a girl like me, like a girl comes up to me and is like, hey, I swear I have a real ass. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. The titties are fake, but I have a real ass. Look at it." And I'm like, that's really nice. And you can just brush it off. You don't have to go and type a 6 paragraph thing on Twitter about the end of dating, right? You can just be like, hey, um, women are, of course, she's going to tell me what her body's real or what part of her body's fake. Of course, women are trying to do these things in order to stay ahead and get more free stuff from men, free attention, free stuff, whatever. Of course, they're incentivized. So, okay, cool. How do I work around this incentive and win? So, all right, let's wrap up this video. Then I'll address some of the compliments, or sorry, compliments, comments. Sorry.
Why not just be yourself and find a man who likes you for who you are? I know it sounds like a cliche, but man, this stuff, men don't like to feel tricked. Bottom line, women
No, we
like
don't.
to. And I'm going to say it. And I don't care if they call me a pick me. I've already been picked, honey. I'm good. If you like
Oh,
the short clip and want to
oh.
Tennessee
All right, so that's the video. Jedi, she's a sweetheart. She's very likable. I don't really watch her stuff, but you know, she seems like a very rational, chill person. You know, nothing too. She seems like a pretty cool gal. She makes content in good faith. You know, she doesn't dislike men or anything like that. She calls it how it is. Hope your viral tweet made it to the video. Yeah, like I already addressed that. I was catfished by a transformer. I was traumatized from that. I'm sorry, man. That's that's rough. You feel so stupid as a guy. Date a hairstylist, Mikey Dad Wisdom. I got reverse catfished by a chick who looked like she was 160, 170 in her profile. When I showed up, she was 5'11", 150, 120. Oof, dude, I hope you had fun, man. Those are some good numbers. Yeah, I got reverse catfish in 2015, 2014. I got reverse catfished. And we dated for like 3 months. Man, that girl, she in her pictures, it was just like some bad pictures. I'm like, whatever. And I was young and in the military. I didn't know what I was doing. So I drove 2 hours to see her. It was one of my first matches on Plenty of Fish ever. I talked to her on the phone for 2 hours, and then I drove 2 hours to see her. And she was sitting outside of her apartment or standing in front of her apartment. And then I'm like, whoa, this girl's hot. Like, just she was petite. She was like 5'2", petite, like slim, thick, brunette, long brunette hair to her ass. And she looked like not as attractive as Megan Fox, but same facial physiognomy, I guess, face shape. And yeah, she turned out to be kind of crazy, but man, she was more attractive in the pictures, and I was very happy about that. So yeah, is that related to the dark triad? No, I'm also dating somebody before it was gorgeous. Before it was gorgeous when we actually met. Yeah, I don't like it when girls lie about their physical pain tolerance. Yeah, I hate being physical pain tolerance fish too. Bull rush. We got Pedro Costa, nuclear content be having me run. I'm glad. I'm glad, sir. I'm glad. Do I follow you, dude? You seem like a chill guy. Let's see if I follow you. Pretty sure. I've been following people that are nice to me. I follow, which is bad habit, but whatever. Here we go. Yeah, we do follow. Okay, yeah, I do follow you. Oh, you're a fellow Dominican brother. Okay. Okay. Entrepreneur, software engineer. Oh, so you're a smart Dominican. See, I gotta follow more smart Dominican guys, man. One of my friends here in my building, he's a Dominican engineer. It's nice to see Dominicans freaking excelling. Yeah, I don't know if you heard I'm in a relationship. So what's his name, Viking Dad? You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Uh, I hung out with her for a few weeks. She lived 35 minutes away. Yeah. Interesting that you mentioned that because everyone has their like their number scale. Like, hey, she's a 7, she's a 9, whatever. For me, I have the drive test, right? And it's basically I don't really use numbers. I mean, I do, right, when I'm discussing stuff, but in my head, I use how far are you willing to drive to meet this girl? And let's say it's school night or work night. On a Tuesday night, how far are you willing to drive to meet this girl? And that's, you know, if it's like a chubby chick, you like maybe cross the street, right? If she looks like Margot Robbie, maybe 200 miles. If she's like, "Hey, I'm in the shower, are you coming?" Maybe 100 miles doesn't seem so far, right? And you see what I'm saying? Like that's more realistic because it kind of takes your personal station in life, how much you're actually getting laid already, and how it changes like your willingness um to, you know, got a piece of hair here. Like in there. Your willingness to meet them, right? So, yeah. Hey, Macho, yeah, Macho me, he did a show when I first started. Me and him did a 1 or 2 shows. He's pretty cool guy. I like him. If I'm ever in New York, I'll probably give him a visit. Dylan says, "Was catfished by a chick who swore she hated Jack as much as I did. Then I caught her listening to his audiobook, Ghost." Exactly. Yeah. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks. Follow me on Substack. Um, Substack's blowing up. good stuff there. It's $7 a month. I'm rolling out free stuff on like male fashion, anything to help you guys and trade what I know. Um, yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. But they are now. Like they're being rug pulled right now by Elon, by everyone. You know, they just completely look at the world through morals and what should people do in their responsibility when in reality, like they don't understand incentives, right? And that's why they keep getting rug pulled over and over again. When you're ready to share, love to hear how you vetted and made a decision to boot up for it. Yeah, well, I signed an NDA, so I can't really talk too much, but I have to ask for permission for that. So, anyways, guys, thank you.